So here's what the other students did who are in honors class. They quickly did a visual, and they said, hey, one is starting at point 0. And if this is time, and this is the distance, we want them to go all the way to 260. From 0 to 260 as time goes by, some rate. Well, for this car, it turns out to be y is equal to 65 miles per hour at x plus 0. The y-intercept is 0 because they started at 0. And the second car, they're already at 260, right there. And they're going back to distance 0. They're going back home, and it's faster. But what they want to do is they want to decrease the speed or decrease the distance. So they needed a negative number rate, so negative 80 miles per hour plus the distance at which they are located at this point. Yeah, so those are the two equations they came up with to represent car A and car B. And when they talk about intersecting, they're talking about the horizontal and vertical coordinate, x and y. And that is when they're congruent. So that's how they did it, graphically. Graphically. So now analytically, they actually let the y's equal, or the equations equal to each other, where they will have the same x and y coordinate. So what they said was then, well, since y is equal to 65x for car A, and y is equal to negative 80, well, I wrote m, but let's make that x, plus 260, this turns out to be a linear system. Okay? And so they set it equal to each other as 65x is equal to negative 80x plus 260. So let's bring this negative 80x to the left side and combine them by using addition property of equality. So that turns out to be 145. X is equal to 260. Now let's solve for x by dividing the coefficient 145 to both sides of the equation. So x is equal to, let's see, make my life easier using a calculator, 260 divided by 145. That turned out to be 1.7931 approximately. And that's right there. So what did they do? The time is 1.79 hours. That's 1.79 hours. That's the horizontal coordinate at 1.79 hours. But what about the distance for y, or the vertical coordinate? So all you had to do was for car A, because we want to go from here to there. So let's take that equation. Y is equal to 65x. But let's go and substitute the x with the hours. So in this case, you have to multiply. And so 65 times 1.79 is going to give 116.55 miles. Look at that. There it is. And that represents the vertical axis, 116.55 miles. And that is done analytically, right there. Numerically, analytically, represented graphically, in this case, visually. And you should be able to explain this in a paragraph. There it is.